want to talk about fretboard knowledge. This is the number one thing I think a lot of my students and a lot of people learning the guitar, this is the thing that gets in the way. It's that the monkey on your back. It's the thing that's always tapping you on the shoulder like, man, I really got to know my fretboard better. What does that mean? Fretboard knowledge, fretboard mastery. How do we get there? The tricky thing about the guitar is that it's not like a piano where all of our notes are linear. Like all these C's, they look the same and they're basically the same to physically play. There's nothing really different about what's happening. I'm just moving my hand and it's changing the octave and the register of that note. With guitar, it's not so easy. I have C, 5 different C's just in that one register. Not to mention, all of the C's on the instrument. There's so many. So how do we deal with that? Because that's just one note, let alone knowing all of our triads and our 7 chords and our scale shapes and arpeggios. There's so much to deal with. This is why it gets easy to fall in the trap of shapes. Like, let's look at shapes. Shapes is going to be my gateway. Maybe we'll use caged or, the classic, box positions or some other method. I'm sure there's other ones. The problem with those, of course, is that you are locked into a shape. And the number one thing that will broaden your view of the guitar and put you light years ahead towards the path of fretboard mastery is thinking horizontally and integrating a horizontal approach to the instrument. Horizontal meaning left to right. So playing scales, arpeggios, really anything less in this vertical stuck position where every scale just has a 4-fret zone and you just keep moving that up. That's great. Well, why not do I'm just playing in G major and I'm taking it anywhere. I'm not thinking necessarily about shapes or certain zones. I'm using vertical and horizontal approaches to the instrument to gain fluency. The best way to start thinking about this, one note at a time. So I want to take the note G. G is a great one to start with. G is on the 3rd fret of the E string. Probably already know that if you know your G major chord. G root, 3rd fret, E string. So instead of trying to find our octave shapes like you may know in certain ways, I actually want to go string by string. This is going to immediately introduce a horizontal integration of the instrument. So you're going to find the G note on every string, and you have to find the lower one, then the higher one above the 12th fret. What's the trick of finding it? Well, a couple ways. You can take the fret and add 12. That's the octave, right? 0 to 12 is the open E. So the same thing applies to any other fret. 3 plus 12 is 15. It's the 15th fret. Some people think of the 12th fret as the restart zone. So they think 0, 1, 2, 3 again. So some people go back to the lower numbers, or some people just continue with the higher frets. That's what I do personally, but either way, 3rd fret, 15th fret. Don't slide, don't do this. I want you to pluck it out of thin air each time. Now, the A string. Where's G? This one's tricky because you don't have one until the 10th fret. So unless you have a bunch of frets, you might not have a second one. For me, it's all the way up on the 22nd fret. Because 10 plus 12 is 22. Then I've got G. D string is the 7th fret. excuse me. Sorry, the 5th fret. 5th fret D string. 5 plus 12, 17. Plucking it out of thin air. G string, this one should be fairly self-evident. Open G, 12th fret. If you have 24 frets, you can get that or get the harmonic. That's the 24th fret. G on the B string, got the 8th fret. 8 plus 12, 20. Then back to E. Always do both E strings, even though it's the same placement. The string is different. It's a different part of the guitar, so don't just do it because don't not do it because it's the same notes, the same frets rather. 3rd fret, 15th fret. So in order, going string by string, and you see I'm going horizontally every time, using the full range of the guitar. Because often we just deal with the guitar down here, and we take our time to slowly get higher and higher and higher. We gotta use and love on the whole neck from Jump Street. The other thing I want you to do is go backwards, descend from high to low. So you're gonna start on the higher one first. What we need to do next is get some rhythmic accountability going, because we don't want to practice any of this in a vacuum. We need to firstly put it in time. Adding that pressure and accountability really starts to ingrain these concepts, and that's what music is. We're playing in time usually, or have some sense of pulse and beat and rhythm that's always happening. Otherwise we just don't have music at all. Now you might be thinking, okay, Zach's going to tell me to get a metronome. Oh, great, yeah. I'm not going to tell you to get a metronome. I want you to name your favorite style of music right now. Or actually, it could be any style of music. Just name any style of music. Great. You said Calypso? Amazing. Me too. So I'm going to type in Calypso drum loop in YouTube. It's that simple. And I'm going to play the first one. Calypso drum loop, 100 BPM. Play in time. This is a measure each. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I can do it faster or slower. Or even wait longer. I'm only going to move once I'm confident that I know the pitch that I'm going to, etc. So now not only am I practicing with rhythmic accountability, but I'm playing music. I'm playing in a certain style. It's going to give me a certain feel. It gets me into it. And I'm going to have a much higher tolerance of practicing fretboard knowledge, materials, and concepts versus using a metronome. Metronome's great. Don't not use it, but this is a really important option to fold into the mix. The other thing I can do I'm improvising with rhythms and other, little effects, little things like that. Not adding new notes technically, just doing certain bends or slides or octave jumps. To play around with the G's, because improvising and starting to make it your own in the moment further cements the coordination of your ears, hearing the note. You know that these are all G's, so that's one connection. Connecting with your hands, okay, that's 3rd fret, that's the 15th. And then connecting with, the mind, where I'm able to say, okay, that's a G, that's a G, that's a G, that's a G, what string am I on, etc. We want to connect our ears with our hands, with our kind of mind, the theory, being able to talk about it element. So what I'm going to do now is pick a note that is not close to G. Go ahead. C. That's a great one. So find C on the E string. We know where G is. How can we find C? Well, I'll tell you. G, A is the 5th fret, B is the 7th fret, C is the 8th fret. If you don't believe me, play your cowboy C chord and check it. Is that note the same as that note? Okay, sounds good. That's my C. Do the whole process with C. This is 8th fret, A plus 12, 20. 3rd fret, A string. 15th fret, D, A string. D string, 10th fret, another one where you might not have the second one. But I do, I've got 22 frets. C on the G string, 5, 17. C on the B string, 1, 13. C on the high E string, 10, 20. Then go back. Put on the track. Remember, go backwards too. High, low, to the high one, to the, etc. Doing that much and stopping here, taking 2 notes per week, you're going to really start to see the fretboard light up in new ways. Now, there are many other things I would want to fold in. I would want to fold in playing scales on one string, doing scales in the vertical positions, but saying the note names, and playing triads, the harmonized triads of C major. All of those steps would be kind of the logical scaffolding that I would start building to really get the fretboard under your hands and in your ears and in your mind. But taking those 2 notes, G and C, for a couple weeks, however long you need, then picking the next 2, maybe F, and choose one that's not close. We don't want to do one that's like a half step away, because that's like kind of easy, right? But then that's the nice thing. After a while, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, you're going to start seeing patterns like, well, okay, if I know G, then I got to know A flat or G sharp because it's right next to G. I know G super well, so I just think 1 fret away from G and I've got G sharp. Those things like that are really going to start to sink in. And it's kind of like, I usually relate it to Jenga, the tower game, bunch of blocks. So the tower is built, and it is this immutable object. You're really precious with it. You have to make sure, take one step at a time. But it's super fun when everything starts to crumble, and then it's all just there, right? So when we take out the pieces, these are like our notes. Take out the C, take out the G, take out F, take out B flat. And eventually, even when you haven't done them all, it's all going to tumble and it's all going to be in front of you. And you're like, oh, there's all the pieces. Let me build my own tower. Let me build my own shape. Maybe it's not even a tower. Maybe it's like a snake. I don't know, whatever. Use your imagination there. I might be getting too deep in the analogy, but that's what I mean. You don't have to take away all the Jenga pieces to be done, right? You take enough of them and boom, suddenly, oh, there's that moment. It's like, oh crap, it's all here. It might take a long time, and it might take a lot of different steps, a lot of different inputs and feedback and exercises and modalities of learning. So don't get too frustrated. It is hard. Guitar sucks because we can play one note in so many different ways, But the guitar is amazing because we can play one note in so many different ways. That is a decision now that I make constantly when I'm playing as a professional, improvising or otherwise. Okay, I have to play a B, but where do I want to play that B? How do I want to play that B? These are options we get that pianists, frankly, don't get. Other instruments don't get. So that's the double-edged sword of this beast. So I think that's it for now. Start to hone in the skills of knowing your fretboard by looking at it horizontally, one string at a time, one note at a time. Let me know how your journey's going.